Hello and welcome to our channel. We here at Security-Vulturs are dedicated to providing our viewers with up-to-date knowledge about cybersecurity and privacy. Well, a VPN is one of the most important tools you can have in your cybersecurity toolkit. You probably already know what a VPN is, but even if you don't, we are here to explain everything for you. So let us begin. A VPN is a clever piece of software that makes an encrypted internet connection, commonly referred to as a VPN tunnel between your device and the website you are accessing. When you use a VPN, your standard internet connection is redirected via an encrypted server, which ultimately changes your IP address and conceals your true location, so even your internet provider cannot view your online activity. Well, there are many VPNs out there, but it's our job to recommend the best for you. So today we are going to give you a quick rundown of NordVPN. NordVPN deserves a spot on our list of recommended VPNs for a number of reasons, including its status as the VPN provider that will deliver the most bang for your buck. Hands down, you aren't likely to find a VPN anywhere else that can do more than NordVPN does, as cheaply as NordVPN does it. Despite a security breach reported in 2019, more on that later, you'd be hard-pressed to find another VPN service that can do what NordVPN does at all. NordVPN has more than 5,200 servers in 60 countries, so users won't have to look too far to use this service. This means that you won't have to worry about slow internet speeds every time you connect. Basically, the closer you are to a server, the quicker your internet speeds are, so Nord won't let you down no matter in what country you are in. The thing that makes NordVPN stand out the most is that its headquarters are in Panama. That means that it falls outside of the Five Eyes, Nine Eyes, and 14I jurisdiction. Now, you guys may be wondering what this means. These are surveillance alliances among countries. Depending on a VPN company's headquarter location, government entities could force a company to give up the data it has gathered about customers. In short, these are international surveillance alliances representing various countries around the world. These alliances work together to collect and share mass surveillance data with each other, beginning with the UK-USA agreement and the Five Eyes intelligence sharing. These networks have been spying on people for decades, with established policies going back to World War II. Now, let's talk about the main importance of avoiding the Five Eyes. While there are privacy concerns with countries in the 9 and 14I alliances, the big one to avoid is the Five Eyes: US, UK, Canada, Australia, and New Zealand. Therefore, when data security is critical, simply avoid the Five Eyes. Some people say concerns about these surveillance jurisdictions are overblown or misguided, and that it really doesn't matter. You often hear this argument from VPN companies and their marketing team that are based in either US or Canada, for example. This line of thinking is misinformed and ignores reality. This is one of the biggest things that I also have issues with, because nowadays you see a lot of reviewers who are shilling for VPN companies just to get an extra buck from their affiliate commissions. And we here at Security-Vulturs are definitely sick of those bastards. That's why we won't ever post affiliate links in the description like you see so many other YouTubers do. And it's totally f***ed up, pardon my language. There are many examples proving the risks associated with privacy-focused companies operating in the Five Eye jurisdictions. We will continue talking about this in our later videos, so make sure to subscribe and hit that bell to get notifications on our latest videos, guys. Now, that is a major breach of privacy for most individuals, but if you are a part of the Nord family, then you need not worry because Panama isn't part of any one of these alliances. Alright guys, now with all that being said, let's continue with the UI of NordVPN. The first thing I have to say is that I really like how user-friendly it is and how smooth the actual login flow is. We like NordVPN's clean, easy-to-use interface, its toggle controls, and its server search functions. The interactive map graphic is pleasant in design, but could be made more useful if its default setting identified cities instead of only countries. NordVPN also features a kill switch. VPNs aren't the most stable of software. As a result, it becomes risky to download the files for fear of the file and site from which it was downloaded to be discovered by the internet provider. Well, a kill switch comes in handy in such situations. The kill switch stops the downloads and quits the app or website automatically, so the user's privacy is protected. Those unfamiliar with the software should note the additional customizable kill switch that allows you to select which apps to kill in the event of a VPN dropout. Keep in mind that any apps not on that list will still transmit information over the internet and could therefore become a privacy liability. Additional features include a site filter to block out a broader swath of malicious sites, along with optional ad and tracker blocker. The latter goes a long way toward keeping speeds up for the average VPN user. We also like Nord's double VPN feature, which allows users to leap across multiple servers for a bit of extra encryption. And we found its obfuscation, which is the process of making a VPN not look like a VPN, effective in every instance of testing. However, keep in mind that obfuscated servers are sometimes unstable and have really slow speeds. In most cases, these servers are used to bypass firewalls in countries like China and some Arabic countries. Their governments block VPNs by default, so if you are planning to take a trip there, maybe keep that in mind. Later on, we will also make more videos about various VPN providers and keep you up to date about which ones have the best obfuscated servers. It's usually always a cat and mouse game, so even if NordVPN might be the best option for that right now, things could quickly change since those server IPs can become blacklisted. One of the most important considerations while choosing a VPN is internet speed. We ran a speed test for Nord over a period of several days and used both wireless and Ethernet connections. Internet speeds in every country vary widely by location and internet provider, and any speed test is going to rely on the local infrastructure, with the hyperfast internet service yielding higher speed test results. Generally, using a VPN cuts down the speed of the internet by almost half or more. In our test, NordVPN cuts speeds by around 53% on average. The percent of speed lost has risen as compared to tests done in 2019 when the speed lost was 32. Nord may not be as fast as some of its competitors like Express or Surfshark, but it pulls ahead due to its reliability. Even though it gives somewhat slow speeds, the connection is very reliable and you won't experience any sort of dips or service interruptions. NordVPN's overall global average speed during our testing was around 9.65 Mbps, while the average non-VPN speeds ranged around 19.70 Mbps. While it is normal for a VPN to reduce your internet speeds, the notable thing here is that in all the test zones, NordVPN never fell below 8.60 Mbps, which makes it one of the most stable VPNs out there. Singapore led the average testing at 9.80 Mbps, while UK speeds beat European speeds 9.93 Mbps to 9.90 Mbps. The Australian servers also edged ahead with 8.80 Mbps to the US's 8.60 Mbps. Now let's test the speed in real time right now. As you all know, when we don't use a VPN, our online traffic goes to the internet service providers. They have access to all our activities and give our information over to advertisers, government agencies, and other third parties. But when we turn on our VPNs, the service providers no longer have access to this information, but the VPN does. So it is very important that the VPN doesn't log more data than that which is critical to its working. Well, good news for Nord fans, it doesn't log the websites you visit or the files you download. The IP addresses, software used, and the time for which the VPN was used are also not recorded. However, this doesn't mean that Nord doesn't log any data. The email addresses, payment data, and timestamp of the last session are all recorded by the VPN, but they are all necessary to maintain the account and to further improve the user experience. If you want any more guarantees that Nord is safe, then the company was audited by Versprite, a third-party consulting firm. According to the final report, the company did not find any critical vulnerabilities. Now let us take a look at the encryption of NordVPN. Nord's encryption standard is AES 256 CBC, and it supports perfect forward secrecy. This means that the encryption keys are changed frequently to avoid any security compromise. NordVPN also uses OpenVPN protocol, which is one of the most secure protocols out there. It also uses IPsec IKEv2, which is also secure but is also quite fast. These internet protocols were helpful when we switched from Wi-Fi networks to mobile hotspots or use our own data. NordVPN by default encrypts all of our web traffic automatically and routes it through a secure VPN server. This is known as a full tunnel mode, but it also offers split tunneling. When you enable this mode, it allows you to route traffic to both the VPN server and the public Wi-Fi networks at the same time. The idea behind split tunneling is to give users more control over their web surfing. But you guys should remember that full tunnel encryption is always the more secure option. We also did a DNS test to check the proficiency of the VPN. DNS stands for the domain name server, and it's the common name that goes with an IP address such as google.com. Well, NordVPN lived up to our expectations and passed the test, which means that there was no DNS leak. We even conducted a WebRTC leak test. You may be wondering what a WebRTC is. Well, it is a technology that enables web applications and sites to capture and optionally stream audio and video media as well as arbitrarily exchange data between browsers without requiring an intermediary. This means that the devices know each other's private IP addresses, which is big considering the use of VPN is supposed to stop such things. Well, when we ran this test on NordVPN, it passed with flying colors and showed a different IP address than the real ones on the computer. Now, we also want to test Netflix and if NordVPN really bypasses the Netflix block. Recently, Netflix got a big security update and a lot of VPN providers' IP addresses were all blocked. So many users quickly complained about this on various social media platforms. The main problem with this is that most VPN providers use huge data centers for their IP addresses. So services like Netflix can now check which data centers are used by certain VPN providers. So naturally, the VPN providers made an alternative solution, which is to use special IPs which are called residential. A residential IP is an address that is assigned from an ISP to a homeowner. and is associated with a single owner and location. Go to IP data, for example, and after a few seconds, the site displays your IP address. It's assigned to your location and your ISP name. A data center IP is an address which isn't owned by an ISP. Usually they're connected to a cloud service provider and assigned to a data center. So you think the problem is solved, right? Sadly, no. It worked for a time, but now Netflix and other streaming services stepped up their game, so they are now able to detect even residential IPs, so the provider's IPs are getting blocked all the time. This action has only increased the effort made by VPN services to beat the blockers. And for the time being, the game of cat and mouse continues. Now, for the moment of truth, let's see if Netflix is bypassed. For this test, we will try Power Rangers Dino Fury, which is exclusive to the US audience. So it seems it's not working this time. As you can see, we are connected to one of the US servers and the series is still region blocked. In our previous test just a few days ago, it worked fine, so it seems bypassing Netflix is currently extremely unstable with Nord, like we already explained before. So if you're buying a VPN just solely for watching Netflix, you have to sadly look elsewhere. Now, let's quickly discuss torrenting. So as you see, guys, it's excellent speeds. You get unlimited bandwidth protection and you don't have to worry about any throttling. So overall, Nord is a decent choice for heavy torrenting. So with the security and speed all covered, let's consider the cost and customer support. The VPN companies offers 24/7 customer support through live chat with an email option. NordVPN also has a well-built support section on its website, which contains an extensive library of FAQs and tutorials. Plus, there is no data cap and allows unlimited server switching. Finally, coming to the cost, the best deal is a 2-year contract, which comes at around $371 per month, so $3.71 per month, which amounts to a 68% discount. There is even an offer for a 30-day money-back guarantee. The only issue is that Nord doesn't accept PayPal payments, but you can pay with a credit card or via cryptocurrency. Our final verdict is that NordVPN turned out to be a decent service and rightly deserves to be on our recommended VPN list. Keep in mind, we do updated videos of our reviews, so if we notice any changes with the VPN providers, data leaks, we will keep you up to date. Our top list is always changing, and you never know when a new competitor comes out and challenges the rest. So that is it for today, folks. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you want to see more reviews, then hit the subscribe button and do click the bell icon to remain updated about all our future videos. See you all next time, folks.